Tonight, we're talking to Nick and Christina, who live in Guelph, Ontario. They have a daughter, Olive, who is 5, and they just finished the 3 days of the in-home program. I got to go and live with this family. What were the problems that you were experiencing before you discovered the guided autism program?
A lot of meltdowns, a lot of issues with speech, with eating, bath time, sleeping. Anytime there was some sort of structured event that we needed to get through the day, it was always met with resistance. It felt like it was a confrontation every time that we had to, execute essentially things we needed to live our life. Difficult. We felt like we were kind of hitting our head against a wall with a lot of different therapies in terms of how do we get through, how do we connect with her. When we came across the guided autism program, it was interesting to think of a way to have someone come into our home and kind of live with us and coach with us and see our struggles.
People always want to know, what was it like having me in your home?
It was so nice. It was just like having a family member at home that supported us. It was just like having a warm hug.
Yeah, and like logistically, just a non-issue. Everything about it was just very natural and very easy. It was just great.
Did you feel at any point like I was judging you or telling that you were doing things wrong?
Never, not once.
No, really, it turned into this kind of way of life with Erin here, where we were really focusing in on what we need to focus on. The program is so kind of in tune with your lifestyle.
What were you feeling when you tried to solve these problems on your own?
Frustrated, like roadblocks, left, right, and center. Felt like we couldn't do it on our own. What was the future for Olive, to be honest? Whereas now it feels lighter. The ideals that you have for your child seem more attainable after seeing the progress that she could have in such like in short period of time. It's life changing, genuinely.
Beforehand, you read everything on the internet, you listen to every therapist who has a different opinion about everything. It was very unclear. There's no real playbook when you have an autistic child. So,
But
um,
there is.
yeah, it was terrible. We're trying to find new solutions everywhere and we just couldn't.
So then what was different about me or this program? Because there's a lot out there, right? How did you narrow in on this?
Through recommendation and people we trust. To be honest, when we met you, we felt a connection and
For me, like the biggest deciding factor was obviously it came very well recommended, but I do think for autistic parents, they need an overhaul like that. They need the commitment of dismantling the home to focus on what matters and then rebuilding it back up. And as much as we tried, X, Y, and Z, it wasn't the commitment level that we needed in our life and in our family to kind of get us back down to
Mhm.
neutral. I think we were halfway through day 2 when Tina and I looked at each other and just kind of took a breath. It's like, we're where we need to be. And now we're just building it right back up. I think it's the commitment for me was the reason why I said this is what we're going to do and we're going to give this a shot.
Describe the moment when you realized that this was really going to work.
Dinner time, day 1, she sat in her seat and waited to get fed. She cleared her plate at lunch, day 2. And then
Yeah.
she set the table, dinner, day 2.
When she sat, enjoyed her meal, enjoyed being with us,
Didn't throw it,
and
didn't
asked
yell,
kindly and politely for more on her plate when she wanted it.
and then said, all done, stood up, took her plate, and took it over to the
I
sink.
didn't even think that that would happen, so it wasn't even on my wish list. I've always wanted is for Christmas, birthdays, like everyone to sit at a table and eat a meal together. But that happens every morning now. It's not even a holiday or a special occasion.
Like, we'll be making breakfast, and all three will just sit there now.
Yeah, no
Sit
wait.
there, wait, they'll help, they'll bring their food. Unbelievable. Like, meals used to be in front of the TV.
Yeah, so we could survive and people would eat.
What about sleep?
Bedtime routine is so much better. I'm not crying, they're not crying. It's just a more calm time together. Olive is equipped with able to put herself to sleep. There's not screaming and crying and chaos. It's calm.
Yeah, she asked to go to sleep.
Hmm.
She understands how to put herself to sleep. She knows when it's time to go to bed. So the whole process happens much more organically, happens a lot earlier than it used to.
Or she's reading a book and having quiet time and then just falls asleep on her own. Yeah,
Tells us she's tired, she goes sit on the couch, and then she get up, go to her bed.
go to sleep.
Bedtime before was, a very regimented set of sound machine, blackout blinds, back scratches, stories, songs, and
Standing on your head.
still you're crawling out of there like you're in the army. Whereas now, we're just essentially opening the door, letting her go in, comforting her, and then we're up and out. Unbelievable.
Lovely.
Describe the shift that happened in the 3 days?
The shift was extremely overwhelming personally, like within myself, understanding, the impact that I have on my daughter with my actions, with my own mentality, the state of my own mind, and how much that affects her. Even my presence, understanding what that does to her and her behavior and the whole mood of her in the house was huge for me personally. I was shocked with how quickly she adjusted to it and was completely calm. It was a drastic change in the entire house, and she just adjusted to it quickly and was able to like thrive. And she showed us things within the first 24 hours that I didn't even think that she was capable of doing or knowing or communicating.
Mm.
And then the next day it just amplified from there. I remember just sitting there halfway through day three, like just a little bit gobsmacked of like, well, what do we do now? It was pretty
I
incredible.
feel like I see her more. It sounds kind of cheesy, but like behind her eyes, like I can see deep into Olive. And we see glimmers of that on and off before, but now when I look and I talk to her or she talks back, I see her. And that's just incredible.
Who's noticed that you've done this?
Who hasn't? Teachers have commented on it and her progression and how they can't believe overnight, essentially, how more regulated she is at school, more calm, able to take in more information. Transitions in class have been way better. She's engaging more with her peers at home. We've had family members here that haven't seen her in a while and couldn't believe the communication that had come out in a short period of time. Her sisters, they're playing more, a longer period of time, and more back and forth communication. So therefore, play can be expanded, which is, the opportunities are endless there.
Yeah, the sisters are playing less of a caregiver role.
Yeah.
Starts more engaging
Which I
and
thought I'd never say this, but like sisterly arguments, but it's because they're communicating. So they're working through things, which is great. I didn't think I would welcome that, but I do.
Mhm.
And they're sharing and they're communicating with each other, which that just never existed before.
Before we had done the program, we had taken Olive to one of our older daughters' dance competition, and the place is a terrible spot for an autistic child, and it was very unsuccessful. Hard for her, hard for us. Like it was all
Yeah.
going poorly. And then, a few days ago, we did the exact same thing, and she sat, she watched the dances, she clapped, she cheered, she listened. She didn't have a meltdown. She was happy for all of the other dancers. She was naming off names of kids at the dance studio that I didn't think she knew. She'd be like, "Good job, Piper."
We're still working through a lot and we don't want to overwhelm her, but that it was successful.
She had such a good time, and in the past, we'd always had such issues with transitions out of things that she liked. It was always a big meltdown after. She was having a great time. It was all good. And
Yeah.
then we said, now's the time we're going to go. We got up, non-issue, held her hand, walked across, skipped to the car, got in the car,
Said, bye, mommy.
non-issue.
I was so nervous. I was like, oh, she's going to lose it because I'm staying behind. And she didn't. She said, bye, mom, you're staying. And I'm like, yeah, I'm staying. I'll be back later. She's like, okay.
Got in the
Got
car, we
the
drove
look up.
home. Great ride home.
Just to be clear for everyone listening, she's not doing that and then coming home and losing it, right?
Mm.
Like the car ride home, her and her little sister had a great time. And then we got home. Home has become her complete comfort place. She gets here, she knows there's very little stimulation. So it led to a great morning.
What do you want to say to parents of children with autism that are struggling?
I guess if I were to say something, if I were to share a message just to myself a month ago before I'd done this program, I would have told myself, you're going to learn things about your daughter, about how her brain works that you will never unsee. And you're going to look at her and yourself and almost everything a little bit differently. And you're going to want to learn how to harness that and run with it. And you're going to be blown away with the results that you're going to see out of yourself, your family, and your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And there's really no other way to describe it. And it's not rocket science. It's actually kind of the opposite, but it's going to put you in a spot that's going to really set you up for success moving forward. And it's hard. It's not easy, but it is easier than you think. It's not overdoing it, it's less. And it's a very strange mentality that you're gonna have to completely wrap your head around. But once you do, it's gonna have some incredible results for your family. Like when you look at her now and she just holds that look and she has the most beautiful eyes, and you're like, they're so engaged and they're so exuberant at times, and you're like I said, there's glimmers of that where you get a couple seconds and it would be off the next thing. But she will sit and tell us a story for 2 minutes, and it is the best story she's ever told in her life. And you're like, you're in there. Like we're not chasing anything. You were here, and it's so nice to see.
Before this, I always struggled with where our place was within the community of autism and how I could support others because, we've been on this journey for a while with Olive, but I don't really know how to support others because I didn't feel supported. I'm getting emotional. But after this, like I do finally feel supported and I do understand how I can support her. So it's exciting and it's empowering because I feel like based on the knowledge I have now about how to see my daughter, I can help others or I could support others by, bringing them to you. Um, and that's a really great feeling.
And we've been in those like clueless shoes, like looking at each other. What do we do next? What do we do here? Worry about our future. And those are like it's a terrible spot to sit. And just having that sense of direction and understanding is like that guidance that you need to
It's
really.
so honestly profound, like so empowering. As the mom, you don't, you're supposed to have all the answers. And unfortunately, we didn't have the answers. We try, you try and support her any way we can, of course. And now I feel like I have those tools to support her. So it's a pretty great feeling.
So, what are you excited about for the future?
I think she would love to start doing some soccer, and we've done it before in the past, but it hadn't particularly gone well. Family trips had always been a bit of a thing for us, a sense of anxiety and a little bit of dread. But honestly, with every passing day where everything seems much more doable and much more enjoyable, her play dates with more people doesn't seem as daunting. Of, the concern of the anxiety of, is she going to have a meltdown? Are we going to be spending this time, supporting her? Or is she going to enjoy herself? And I just think she is genuinely enjoying her
I'm
life.
just excited to get to know her and see where her path leads. We're along for her ride. I'm excited to see where it takes her. I feel like she's finally in the right place where she can show us that. And that's pretty beautiful.
Thank you both for talking to me today.
Right.